cottage clock, and this is a tall case clock. It belonged to John, who bought it before we were married. And it's a brass style clock. It's a very early one, I think 1730, I believe. And it's a 30-hour clock, so you have to, every 30 hours, pull it and set it. You can see it's not running now because you have to just be very regular in doing it. But I loved it. And I love the fact that John, even though he was single, thought that something like this would be an important addition to his home. So anyway, I love it. Yes, very much of one. And I enjoy hearing it ticking. It means a lot to me.
I don't, but she does. It wakes you up at 3 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, we hear complaints from overnight guests who are not real wild about the fact they have this clock. And they say it keeps them awake. And to me, there's something that's stabilizing and just, I guess, like hearing water running. It's very soothing to me. It means permanence, and I really love the clock. Okay.
My room, you can tell from the sign, I have this own road named after me. This is one of my favorite gymnasts, Nadia Comaneci, and she scored the first perfect 10 ever in gymnastics, and so I thought she was pretty cool, so I put her picture on my door. And this is a horse because it's my favorite animal, and I always wanted to ride, so it's a horse. Here we go. Good thing it's clean. Ta-da! It's pretty busy in here, I guess you could say, putting it lightly.
Lights on?
How about collections? We'll talk about collections, and you can see she's got different ones. I don't know where she got this sense of collecting from. But,
Who knows?
anyway, talk about your collections.
Here's my small collection of dolls, and I collect old Francie dolls, which is, Francie's a friend of Barbie, and she's more mod 60s, and so she's more me. So I collect her, and I have these Breyer horses, which are these nicely made plastic model horses, and stuffed animals, which are throughout the room. And
Tell me about the posters you have.
oh yes, the
You love-
mini posters. Well, these are all gymnasts, most of them are foreign, and they're just some of my favorite ones. That's Nadia Comaneci again, and she got first perfect 10. And these are just all Olympic gymnasts, and
This is not an Olympic gymnast. This is Aunt Frankie
Oh, yes.
and Uncle David.
again.
However, somewhere amongst all the posters, if you look closely, you'll see them. And besides, tell about this picture.
This is my great-grandmother, who was my dad's mother, and everyone says that I look like her, and it was just sort of a cool picture from the 1800s, so.
Yeah, actually
Yeah,
it
that's
is.
what
She
I
looks
want.
pretty modern.
She does. There is lots of room.
And
Tell me about the animals on the bed. Who are they?
this is Jasper, puppet, and this is, well, he doesn't have a name. He was one of those holiday bears, and he's been so beat up that he needs a bath. That's okay. And over here on my desk, these cute plastic little animals.
We'll come over so we can be in the video.
Okay.
They're
And
My Little Ponies. Mom and Dad don't like them, but I collect them, and I go looking around in antique shops looking to find them.
this
What
one's
now?
engaged. You
Oh,
notice
She's
the
engaged.
And
engagement
to who
ring.
may we say? Another pony or somebody else?
Oh, this is My Little Pony. Who does she have a name? I'm sure she does.
has a name, but we don't know what it is.
We can't remember, but a research
She's lost
effort.
her husband, but she's in long search of
Her name?
her
Oh.
name
And her
her
name,
husband,
yes,
her
yes.
fiancé.
She definitely needs that.
And
We
here
have.
have some pictures.
Mhm.
This is my Aunt Frankie. Again, she's pretty famous all over the house.
Very well loved.
And this is me last summer at Busch Gardens with one of the horses and a guy that I knew that worked there. Showed me one of the horses, and again a few pictures of me with some of my weird and crazy friends doing weird things. And
That's it for the room.
It's pretty good.
That's it for the room. And we want you and Jeff, Dad, to come into our bedroom and see a little bit more about us. Then you will see that we're eccentric too. I do think you have some eccentric aunts. One of them, supposedly, I guess it is. So here's another. Okay, here is a collection of whatever.
things.
Yes, things, some family things, perfume bottles, among other things, and family pictures. We want to take you over here to our little gallery, And some of the family pictures we have, this is one of John when he was a little boy. He looks very serious there. His grandfather made the frame, and that's one reason why I have it up there. And my father and my mother, Elizabeth, and the three of us, two of us at a high school reunion, my mother and sister, Aunt Frankie, and John and I at our wedding.
The wedding shot.
And his grandparents at their 50th wedding anniversary. I thought they were just darling. And aside from being darling, I thought it's got to be a good omen to put us at our wedding right above them as if they're our inspiration. And let's see. Oh, the bed. This is a quilt that was made by my mother-in-law, John's mother, and the needlework above the bed. There's some pieces of cross stitch. Oh, okay, Elizabeth, talk about your baby picture.
Well, this is me, and I'm adorable. I don't know how old I was when it was taken, but my aunts had me taken to get my picture, and it was a surprise for Mom and Dad, and so there I was.
It's adorable. See, Logan has some competition, and actually, I think Elizabeth beat you in the cute baby
I'm
look,
not
but
sure.
we still love you anyway, dear. So actually, I was hoping to go in to show the pan of shoes.
Oh, please,
because
please,
Jeff,
okay.
I want you to explain to Jeff why
Yes.
you have all these shoes and who bought these shoes. Because
I'd
Jeff will be shocked, and he won't believe that people feel comfortable in the male gender to purchase shoes and bathing suits for their spouse.
Well, actually, John is very rare. He is an engineer, as you are, and is a very serious, I think more so than you, appearing person. And yet, it is hard to believe because when people meet him, they really can't put together, in fact, his family really can't put this together. However, I chose this one, and this is not his style, but anyway, this is one of the bathing suits that I really loved. And this is a wild one, actually, I bought, but he doesn't like either. Why am I showing you the suits that he didn't pick out?
We're seeing a little bit about your Aunt Helen there, Logan.
Yeah, there's a little piece of me that
This
says I want to
is
get what I want
His
too.
favorite one.
This is his favorite bathing suit. In fact, it was so his favorite bathing suit that
He had to get a two-piece version.
he had to get the two-piece version.
In case.
Anything should happen, he probably should have bought a spare of that in case something happened to him. But the two-piece bathing suit, don't worry, I only wear the two-piece bathing suits when I'm with him and not with other people, because I have a little pride there, and I don't want other people to see.
Come in and look
Get
at
to know
the
you
show.
as well,
I
right?
don't want to get them to know me quite as well. Another suit he bought. And
For no reason.
For
It
no
was one of
reason.
those surprise gift nights, and he just kept appearing everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm going to focus up above there, Jeff, because I want you to see
Look at all the shoe boxes.
there are about 1,000 shoes in here.
Why don't you
Yes,
come in and look at
please
the shoe
come
boxes?
into the closet, Beth,
There's
unless you
room for
think that
many.
this will not.
No, I just want Jeff
You
to
get a
see.
panoramic view of all the
Okay.
shoe boxes.
Right.
The shoe
I should-
boxes.
First of all, dear, those 12 pairs of shoes that I own in the closet that you think might be more than
Yes.
enough for anybody, you can see when I say I'm conservative in my shoe buying that I am not exaggerating, and here is the proof. But also,
And this is the bathing suit collection.
can you
though.
believe that?
Yeah,
Look
the
at
bathing
that.
suit shelves. This is an excessive family, Jeff. I know. Ooh, careful.
Sorry.
I know you're going to be worried. And under here, what do we have? Boy,
Oh,
more shoes.
no! Oh, my goodness, I didn't
Yeah.
even...
Well, we're never at a loss for shoes.
No, we're never at a loss for shoes.
That's
And
so
John
funny.
buys most of my shoes, including the ones I have on, that give me about
Ooh, look
2
at
at least extra inches, which I need every extra inch up.
He has to catch up with me.
Right.
that.
Now, we have here the vintage jewelry collection, which is really kind of a passion. This is kind of the me. I do love the glitz, and I do love the old, and I do love all this stuff, and that was a part of me from early on when I just put so much Mother would call me the little gypsy, which I don't think was a compliment. Anyway, and the vintage purses. And next I'm going to take you, unlike Beth, who doesn't have things hanging all over the wall, I said to her, and she looked at me, and I said, I'd like to have all the wall space covered, I would, with all kinds of neat artworks or whatever. And to me, these little purses that have been collected, some are gifts, and some I purchased.
And you use some of them.
I actually use them. I use the Whiting and Davises sometimes up here at the top, and when we go out for a glamorous evening, I'm trying to look for one that I'll wear because I think they're somewhere else. But I have used this one and that one, and I have used that, I would say, for glamorous evening. And this one. And I love them. I just think they're little works of art. So, on to Daddy's study.
Study, yes.
But he won't be happy that he knows we're taking you in here. But
Prepare yourself.
yeah, prepare yourself. You're going to wonder, does he work in here?
It's not really
number
worth
one?
it to clean it because
Well, I have to say one thing. Jeff's office is very similar to this, right,
I
dear?
think it's an office thing.
Ha ha, I don't
Yes.
think so.
Well,
But,
similar in that he does have his piles of papers on the floor.
oh, okay. The piles of paper on the floor. And no one would dare come in here and clean because you'd never know where to put things back because it would rest. But he keeps his plate collection of Maryland. And we have, of course, lots of teddy bear stuff. His Stipe collection there. And Maryland. And he works here. He has a Harley Davidson telephone.
And it honks when it rings.
Yes. And he is an aspiring Harley collector. That's scary.
Okay, hold on one moment.
Come on.
So, why don't you talk about the room quickly?
All right. This is the guest room. When you wonder how a guest fits in this room, I've wondered it too. And this is a collection of things that mean a lot to me. And they are some dolls and lots of compacts Beth has asked about. And I don't guess you noticed them, but it's all these little compacts I've collected through the years. And some dolls that were in my family. That was my aunt's doll, Lila Baby. And one of the passions I have, another one, is vintage clothes. And I actually have worn and wear the things, but I think they're kind of beautiful little things, and they're pieces of history, and I'm a great history person. And part of this is from the trousseau of my friend who got married in 1909. This was. See, all of this is called Edwardian whites. This was, and all of this. And this dress that I recently hung here was one of her early dresses too. And I have worn this. In fact, I have a teacher at school, a man at school who's an 8th grade teacher as I am, who said, I remember that dress you wore. I thought that was the most beautiful dress. And I thought that was the most unusual thing. He thought this was very feminine. Of course, it had a big blouse under it. But I thought that spoke it gave me an interesting insight into him. And he's not the kind of person who usually reacts. So, anyway, more dolls.
And we're going to have a
Oh.
shot, the two of us together, because, that's right, you wanted to get my good side. so
Well, I
have
wanted
here
to
that.
show this too. I wanted to say that on my dressing table, where I get dressed and put on makeup in the morning, I have your picture with your mom in it. And I love that picture. That was one I chose to have framed because it really said so much about her and her love for you. And it makes me happy to look at that picture. So I get to look at you every morning.
Because I was tickling Logan a lot.
To get that
To get that
smile.
smile,
Yeah,
but
you
it was
said
fun.
that
It was a
was-
little devious. That's actually a devious smile in that shot. So. Have a
So.
seat here. Since I want to see here the two of us together.
Yes.
Um,
We're going to talk about ourselves and how we look alike.
well, I
Or
don't know.
what
Do we look alike? I guess that's up to you, Logan and Jeff, to decide. So, Jeff, you did say that you thought we did. But I do want to say that Helen is very special to me. I feel that I've known her for a long time. Elizabeth is wonderful, and I'm looking forward to having everybody meet. I want the family to really be able to blend together. We're fortunate because if you get a phone call that you have a sister that you didn't know about, you're not really sure what you're going to get with that. I mean, you really can't choose your relatives. But I couldn't think of a family that I would want better for a friend or relative. So I'm really, really happy. I love you. That's just that. I have to throw that part in. I'm very happy. Yeah. Anyway, emotional too.
Yes, she's emotional, and
And you've gotten used to it so far. You've been holding it pretty well with how I am.
well, that's because I'm emotional as well. I must seem more contained, but and I'm not as emotional. I'm not as expressive emotionally as you are. I've had a strong need to see family, and for me to have followed through